Land is power, son. Never sell it unless you can't eat otherwise. That was my grandfather William Jameson's favorite line. I heard it in my head as I stood at the edge of what should have been my family's 1,500 acres of pristine woodland and farmland. Instead, I was staring at a gated community that looked like a luxury catalog had crashed into a forest. Mansions, cul-de-sacs, tennis courts, a golf course carved through the land like it had something personal against nature. The oak tree line my grandfather planted? Gone, replaced by decorative shrubs trimmed into submission. And sitting on top of it all like a smug cherry on a stolen sundae was an HOA. The Silver Pines Community Association I hadn't even unpacked before I was at the county records office. That's where I found the lie. Neatly typed, neatly filed, and completely illegal. According to public records, my land had been sold 10 years earlier to a developer called Fairway Holdings LLC by my father, except my father never sold it. He couldn't have. He was already dead. Someone had copied his signature from old documents, slapped it onto a fake deed, notarized it with a counterfeit stamp, and the county clerk's office had waved it through because looked legit. My attorney looked at me and said very calmly, "They didn't just steal your land. They built an entire neighborhood on it. Legally, you still own every inch." I didn't feel rage right away. I felt something better. Anticipation. Because they thought they were homeowners, and I was still the owner. Once I knew the truth, I decided not to rush. People who steal land expect anger. They don't expect patience. So one quiet morning, I drove into the heart of Silver Pines, parked beside a fountain that looked like it cost more than my first house, and started taking photos. Evidence. Streets. Lot numbers. Homes sitting comfortably on land that still had my name on the deed. I barely got my third picture before the HOA cavalry arrived. They wore matching polos and expressions that said, "We find people for mailbox colors." Leading them was her, Karen. She looked at me the way people look at gum on a shoe. "Excuse me, sir," she snapped. "This is private property. You can't take pictures here." I smiled. "Actually, this is my property, all of it." She laughed. Loud. Confident. "Oh, sure, and I'm the Queen of England. Leave now or we're calling the sheriff." "Please do," I said. When the sheriff arrived, I handed him my ID and the parcel number. He scrolled, frowned, scrolled again, then sighed like a man realizing his lunch break was canceled. "Well," he said slowly, turning to the HOA board, "ownership here is complicated." Karen's smile collapsed. "That's impossible," she barked. "We paid good money." I shrugged. "Sounds like a conversation for the people who sold you stolen land." They still didn't believe me. So the HOA president, an ex-banker with a smile like a credit card ad, sent me a cease and desist letter accusing me of harassment. That's when I stopped being polite and started being prepared. That cease and desist letter was adorable. Framed even. I hung it on my wall as motivation. My attorney filed a quiet title action, which is the legal version of saying, "Let's put this nonsense under a microscope." The HOA countersued immediately, swearing the sales were legitimate, that I was confused, bitter, and apparently allergic to progress. Local news ate it up. Headlines screamed, "Man claims entire gated community built on his land." For 2 years, the courtroom became my second home. The HOA burned money like it was decorative firewood. They hired expensive lawyers, delayed hearings, and even tried to introduce brand new documents claiming I'd sold partial rights. Big mistake. Expert witnesses dismantled everything. Handwriting analysts confirmed my father's signature had been traced. The notary stamp? Fake. The original deed? Fraudulent from top to bottom. The judge didn't hesitate. "The court finds the original sale was fraudulent," he ruled. "Ownership of the entire 1,500-acre parcel reverts to Mr. Jameson." The room went silent. Someone cried. Someone cursed. Karen screamed at me in the hallway that I was ruining lives. I looked at her and said calmly, "You built your dream on my family's theft." That's when they realized something terrifying. Winning the case didn't make me powerful. It just reminded everyone who already was. If you're enjoying this story so far, please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories travel. I didn't celebrate after the verdict. I planned. I sent every homeowner a letter. Polite, professional, generous even. Option A, buy the land beneath your home at fair market value, about $400,000. Option B, vacate within 90 days. They called it extortion. The HOA president held meetings, promised to fight me again, rallied the community like a man rearranging deck chairs on a sinking ship. They refused, which made them trespassers. So I filed eviction notices, not against people, but against lots, because legally their homes were fixtures attached to my land. Then the twist they never saw coming. An investment group approached me. They wanted the land and the structures on it. Under state law, selling the land meant the houses came with it. I signed. 30 days later, the new owners served notice. Protests erupted. Karen chained herself to the community gate, screaming that I couldn't do this, but I already had. Within 60 days, Silver Pines was empty. The clubhouse fell first, then the golf course. Nature reclaimed what arrogance borrowed. Today, the land is a preserve in my grandfather's name. Lakes shimmer again. Trails wind through forests. A plaque reads, "Land can be borrowed, but never stolen." Justice doesn't always shout. Sometimes it signs papers and lets silence finish the job. If this story moved you, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with someone who loves a clean legal revenge. Tell me where you're watching from. It makes me smile every time. The end.